Hey everybody, Rodamon here. Thanks for tuning in to the Philosopher King, a RimWorld royalty series, let's play, and tutorial about being a benevolent ruler and our benevolent society run by these rules and goals, and also the projects that you vote on for me to work on. So last episode we had been preparing for the big invasion that we're going to face, and I'm going to continue that preparation through this episode. I wanted to go over a few tips that I got. One was about the monument here. One of the reasons I haven't finished this monument is some of the monuments, when they bug out, the moment you complete them, they trigger its damage state, because the monument detects that it's not fully built, at least not correctly. And as a result, what you end up getting is an immediate fail invasion. And that's one of the reasons why I haven't finished it, is if that's the case, which I haven't tested myself, I would very much want to be as protected as I can. All right, so here comes Rego over the lake, visiting. Another thing from Pandemonia. Pandemonia mentions that now that I have all this Thrumbofur, would it make sense to start crafting clothing out of Thrumbofur because it is more protecting than Devilstrand. So Thrumbofur fails to be as protective as Devilstrand when it comes to fire. But now that we have Skip and Water Skip and Chaos Skip, which allows my own pawns when they're on fire to be moved to safety, it does indeed make sense to retool at least our pants and our button-down shirts to Thrumbofur instead. The pants and button-down shirts can go under your armor, whereas the dusters, cowboy hats, and toques cannot. So pants and button-down shirts will be made of Thrumbofur now, and we'll get that going. But not dusters. I do want to get cataphract helmets for everybody, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more at least. Avernath is not going to get a cataphract helmet. She's a pacifist and won't be using it, at least not to its fullest. Last episode, we also uncovered a deep-drilled plasteel and uranium node, which is going to help dramatically in the improvement of our own defenses as well. Checking up on Argus here. Ooh, blood rot is rising. Let's tend to Argus. Now, if I let blood rot get too high, to the point where it could become fatal, what I will need to do is to cure it with Glitterold medicine, which would be a very, very, very expensive thing to do. So, you know, if I have my way, yes, I won't let that happen, because it would be costly, quite costly. Taking a look at all my allies. Antalya here. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to send you some little gift here. They're, let's cancel these double strand pants. Antalya's, yeah, I slipped a little bit, and it would be beneficial for me to repair that relationship. I'm also going to give a throne speech. Nope, it was, okay, let's try again. Canceled, it just keeps canceling. Why are you canceling? I don't even know. Okay, well, obviously it's not working. I'll just stop. I don't know why, but sure. Whatever. So the last of my autocannon turret getting constructed. Unfortunately, all these guests are sort of standing on top of it, making it difficult for Mathis to finish up the construction. And soon we are going to get a travel raid, I suspect. Alright, so here we go, Mathis. Once you're done with that, haul the shock lance. I'm going to include really everything, all of the flooring here as a home, because it does get ugly and could cause mental breaks. Could. Alright, so Fastupia is going to start moving the Devilstrand so that we can tailor with it. Transport pod is ready to be launched. Let's just remind ourselves we are delivering to Antalya, so there you go. Antalya. I'll get our relationship up to 88, which is a little bit more, it's comfortably higher than it was before, I guess is the way to put it. All right, Mr. Zero, or Mrs. Zero, really is what you are. Let's Smith and Taylor over mine, and then mine over construct and hunt. So, I guess you're making shells. Let's instead make the Thrumbo. Although I do need the shells for smithing. Ooh, only normal quality. That's not good. There we go. So now you can see people are starting to switch out their double strand for Thrumbo because it's stronger. So, Pandemonia. Good suggestion there. And a solar flare. Well, let's hope that we don't get raided in the middle of a solar flare. So the quest, the adorable Red Fox quest, it says that I'm approximately going to get about 100 raiders per raid. But when it comes down to raids and the strength of the raids, it also depends upon what kind of raid it is. The entering from the edge and preparing a while raids are statistically larger and stronger than raids where... Ooh, exotic goods from Antalya is coming in. They're statistically stronger than raids where they drop pod on you, or raids where they'll siege you, so on and so forth. So, depending on the type of raid that you get attacked, it might not be the 100-person mark. So, for instance, if I get a sapper raid, it will be maybe 60 or 70 raiders, whereas if I get they entered in from the edge of the map and are preparing a while to attack, instead of 100, it might be 130. So there's a variable there as well. And then it's also a chance roll. Two identical raids, like two sapper raids, one might be larger than the other because there is some RNG involved as well. So I just wanted to make it clear that, yeah, no two raids are exactly alike. There's a lot of randomness, and yeah. All right. So my friendly little Antalyas, let's see what you have for me in your exotic goods caravan. Once Bubbaloo is awake. Man, this solar flare has lasted a while. Only 6 hours. That's actually not that long. Oh, sorry, Zero. I really should have let you sleep. But yeah, as you can see, we are switching our gear up. Now, another thing I could do in terms of defenses, and this would be particularly good for Talon, would be the Stone Skin, which is the toughest skin. Now, if you do that, it will make them ugly. Installing Stone Skin is the equivalent of being staggeringly ugly. So if you want to offset that, you can put the shaper, the aesthetic shaper, in the aesthetic nose, which is the equivalent of being beautiful. So for instance, if I look at Poppy here, Poppy is already beautiful. If she got the shaper and the nose, she would be the equivalent of like plus 80 relationship. Yeah, sort of the Helen of Troy, I guess. So these guys do have a little bit of plasteel. The thing is, now that I can deep drill for it, I might not want it. So I'm going to buy their pulsar and their soother because I can't make them. And they actually have a stone skin gland, but I'm not going to buy that either. Yeah, this about rounds it out. That's a lot of... that's some good trade. The soothe will help and the pulsar will help. So, you know, it's not all for naught. So in here is the clothing that's been too damaged to be stockpiled as backup clothing. Actually, this shouldn't be here either. 95 to 100 hit points. Why is these pants here? They really shouldn't be here at all. There we go. And then I can also put a quality modifier on those as well, if I wanted to. making it so that it's only like good and up. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. Because at this point, I think normal clothing is probably too low to bother with. Alright, and that should allow us to haul these pants away. And then it also means on these, I'm going to do from good to legendary. And that way we have higher quality stuff. The difference between normal and good is pretty significant, so. Alright, so Zero, you're going to be back at it. And here comes the raid. Tribespeople from the Convent of Toxo, appearing in multiple groups. They are sappers. They want to go through our defenses. So there's 16 in the south, 21 in the northeast, and 21 in the north. Okay. Let's get everybody to quickly react to the ones in the south. This raid here may not be the right raid to use the grizzly bears on because, well, let's try it. All right, Evernath, I'm going to need you to... The trouble here is we might end up losing a significant amount of our guests, which means a lot of urns to be delivered. Now, these guys are sappers, so I don't exactly know where they are going to sap into. We're going to have Faustopia finish the monument. That will give me Plasteel and 2 of the tech prints. And then on top of that, I am going to send all of my animals to grazing to keep protected. Argus, how are you doing? Oh, you have untreated blood rot. Mathis, go tend Argus. It's kind of important as well. So this is sort of a brute force defense here. Not a whole lot of finesse in this defense down south. It's just, you know, gotta do it. And they're gonna start to sap their way through that wall. So it's really just a race to do as much damage to them before they get through. Now, we do have double walls. These guys are gonna probably sap this point here, I guess. Alright, so let's start trying to at least set up our guys behind some basic cover. So the monument's been completed, and then Faustopia, it might take a while for the monument to register that it is bugged. So instead of waiting a little bit, I'm just going to immediately trigger the fail case manually by destroying a wall segment. Alright, so the sapper is going to get through the wall there. And then up here, we're probably going to get sappers coming through there as well. And I'll get to that as soon as I can. So Zero got a little bit of a bruise. Consequences will follow. Yeah, no problem. Let's get you up there. So, we have the Manhunter pack, and they're coming from the west-northwest-ish. This sapper group is now fleeing, so let's get to where the next group of sappers are going to come in. I'm going to unforbid all and get into position. Evernath, I have you up here so that you can close these doors, protecting us from the polar bears. Alright, so Hummingbird is cutting through here, and this is going to, and both of them are actually, this is going to be a siege point for sure. So what I need to do is to get Bubbaloo with his Berserker Pulse would be a very, very powerful caster, Psycaster, to affect that group. A neck here, lost a finger, and then Zero got a little bit of a bruise. Torso bruise, not too bad. Alright, Mathis, they're obviously coming through this door quicker than anything else, because that is a weak point. So let's build for that. I don't think Talon's going to be able to hold them off mano a mano. Evernath, try to haul as much as you can. All of my animals to grazing. And here we go, as you can see. Now, the real issue here is when they breach, and they will breach, it does mean that the grizzly bears will have a clear path to me, unmitigated entirely, which is very dangerous. So I'm going to have to make sure that I am filling up my walls quickly, so that these bears can't just storm me in here. What will be helpful is for me to use wall raise. So what I'm doing now is try to get close enough to drop a hell of a Berserker Pulse on them. And then I'm going to have, while they're all fighting themselves and each other, I'm going to line my guys up for a better defense here. Evernath, I'm really only concerned about carrying these stuff behind my walls. There's going to be a new hole here. Zero, could you try to repair as fast as you can? Roof collapse just dropped on all these grizzly bears. So as you can see, every single grizzly bear here took some sort of roof collapse damage. And as you can see, the entire square blew out, which is exactly what we wanted. It was, may I say, well designed? Bubbaloo, where are you? Alright, don't want Bubbaloo's... I don't want Bubbaloo's, heat to get too high. Oh, Basbo, you're definitely a wimp. Uh-oh. So the Antalya is gonna be very, very upset because they're getting messed with by the bears. And soon, these pillars are gonna go down. There's another roof collapse. This one was the overhead mountain roof, so the whole thing came down. And then these two roofs are gonna go down soon as well. Let's see, Bubbaloo, I want you to wall raise here. That way the would-be sappers are stuck. I'm going to owe Evernath, go rescue Basbo. I'm going to owe considerable reparations to Antalya here, I think. And there's another roof collapse. Now, none of my turrets are on, so the turrets won't be targeted. There's another roof collapse. Yeah, this was, I like the roof collapse. It was very well designed. So it seems to me like the remainder of these enemies are now done. So Faustopia, I want you to work on rebuilding the steel door. I'm going to schedule everybody into safe, which keeps them inside. Poppy, work on rebuilding the granite wall. Actually, you know what? Let's try to build the external ones rather than the internal ones, if I can. Now, a lot of these polar bears are going to be coming flooding in, and that's what Bubbaloo's for with his wall raise. I will be able to wall raise my way into safety. I think. And this gives me a few hours. I'll obviously need a wall raise over there, but it gives me a few hours to prevent these grizzlies from flooding in while I quickly work to patch up the holes in my walls. Blue. Okay, so that wasn't perfect, but Talon is nearby, and he can... Why do we keep going along? Alright, so I'm unforbidding it. I'm allowing everybody to move now. And Bubbaloo did stuck himself. He could chaos skip, hypothetically, but I think what would be better is if Zero came over here and mined this raised rock out so that he can be rescued or freed. So, in an ideal world, we would try to rescue some of these prisoners. Some of these tribals that have come to kill us. Realistically, I don't know how easy it's going to be for us to... No, what are you doing? Mathis? No. Yeah, I don't know how easy it's going to be for us to actually physically do that. Alright, Bubbaloo is now freed. Let's construct this door. We could do without this door. It's not that big of a deal. But this door needs to be constructed or the polar bears are going to have a... get in a little bit more. Here is another raid. Another Zapper raid. This is the second one. And let's clear some of this nonsense out. This raid is obviously going to come right into a giant horde of grizzly bears. So my plan to pit the grizzly bears against the raiders, I think, is a pretty good idea. If I do say so myself. Mathis. Oh, yeah, this is my fault. I forgot to put Mathis back on safe. So I had to turn on the turrets temporarily. Just to clear the ones out that are in the kill box. So that Mathis could be safe and clear. Alright, so let's schedule everybody to safe now. Now, safe is not going to allow... So here's what I'm going to do. This is going to suck for everyone's mood, but there's already dead bodies everywhere. I'm going to include safe inside the crematorium. The reason I didn't have that before is because obviously seeing dead bodies is disturbing to most. But in the case that... Oh, you know what? I don't know if I can skip you without penalties. So let me try to rescue. Bubbaloo is going to go for rescue. For Jumper, it's the least I could do to the Intalia friends. And these sappers are indeed running straight into these grizzly bears, so I may not need to deal with these guys. What I can do here is have my idled guest defenders manning the manning the mortars, and trying to, hopefully not hitting my geothermal, but trying to shell for some additional bang from a buck, so to speak. Okay, so Bubbaloo is being chased by this polar bear. Hang on, Bob. There. Faustopia will help. Talon, Mastica, get on out there, help Faustopia. And Neck, you too. Bubbaloo, go rescue. And we'll put you on safe as well. Okay, so that's a dead bear. Good, these shells are sort of hitting what I want them to hit. The thing is, the tribal raiders are they look to likely be winning this one. So I'm going to get out there now while the tribals kind of have their hands full of bears. And let's just make sure that Bubbaloo's going to need an eye there. I did let him get mauled. That's on me. But he's not bleeding out fast enough that it's serious for me to take cover. He's got 22 hours. Alright, so Ervanath, oh man. Mathis, actually go tend to Jumper. And then everybody else hop on out here and we'll... Actually, let's... Expires 1 hour. Yeah, let's go to our pillbox of sorts. I might not even have time to actually get there. Let's just hop on out and start shooting these tribals that are already very, very weak. Bubbaloo. Get nice and close. Hit them with a big Berserker Pulse to lessen the focus on me. Now this is dangerous because I do have basically no cover and there's a lot of gunfire coming my way. Talon, I'm going to have you bullet shield for me. Alright, they are fleeing. Let's just recoup as best as I can. 2 sapper groups back to back. Oh, there's a bear on me, isn't there? Let's chaos skip it. I guess I'm going to have to deal with this bear anyway. Alright, everybody, get to hospitals. Oh, there's a bear on me as well. There we go. Alright, so this is going to be a big old patch-up. A lot of us need treatment. Jumper, you are going to be okay. That's good to see, good to hear. Alright, so this door is obviously missing, and then there's a another broken door over there. Or no, it's just forced open. Alright, so as far as work goes, Faustopia, I'm going to put you on doctoring as well, because we really do need all hands on deck on doctoring. And then as far as medicine goes, let's do industrial tech meds for everybody, just so that our recovery time is reduced as much as it can be, while not putting us into massive, massive debt. I would like to start working on a bionic eye. Made by Zero. And that's for Bubbaloo, of course. But, you know what? He's probably... Bubbaloo kind of looks like Odin right now. So, that's not terrible. Right? Alright, in terms of, Intalias that died. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Oh, man. So, 10? Are these all Intalia? Alright, so I owe Intalia 10 urns. It would make sense if I cremated all the people that yeah. It would make sense if I cremated them all first. So I'm going to do that, but 10 is the number. Maybe there's some... I don't think there's any below this mountain here. Let's see. Alright, so tending up. Yep, there's still a bunch more. Trying to get everyone else sort of tended to. So as far as I know, that is 2 out of 3 raids. Them all being sappers is just ridiculously unfortunate, but we didn't really use any of our turrets much. So if the last one isn't sappers, that might not be too bad. Alright, let's tend to Bubbaloo. And then Rage. Or Ragabe. Well, King Bob, well done. Count Bob, really is what you are. Alright, so at the moment, I do believe I can release everybody from their restrictions. And then our Bloodlusters, totally released. We have a lot of corpses to get through. That means that Mathis will have a lot of crafting. All right, Mathis, in fact, what I'll do is I'll have you set to high priority craft so that you do cremate. Bosbo, good. On your feet. Equip that Bowcode Lance. All right, let's let everyone heal up as much as they can. Whole lot of people are getting fully healed, which is fantastic. Superficial wounds tend to get healed really, really quickly. Wow, almost all of those bears were Scoria. Well, I mean, they all had Scoria, of course, but a lot of them were sort of worthless. Okay, so other things that are going to be really, really important is let's haul these tech prints and plasteel. I'm going to stop whatever they were doing. I don't even care what they were doing, and focus on that. Combat supplier flying overhead. That could have some interesting Doomsday launchers and the like. Doomsday launchers are also something I might make use of in the upcoming fight. We'll have to see, of course, but there's a pretty fair chance that I'll rely upon that. All right, Yan Shui and let's see, Chris. All right, Bubbaloo. Let's see what these combat suppliers have for us. Says you have poor health, but you know what? I actually don't believe it. So, they've got medicine. I can sell them my damaged armors. And that's about it. They have a purple cataphract helmet, but it's only normal quality. Oh, your mother died. I'm sorry to hear that. Here, take some ambrosia, drink some beer. And she's in a daze. Well, I tried. Put that, like, 15-year-old? What are you? It's 19 now? Oh, a little bit older than I thought. Alright, so Shay's replenishing our fine meals, sort of. 0. You are making high explosive shells. Aren't I supposed to have a steel stock here? Let's make this critically important. Because we shouldn't have to haul all the way from these shelves for each steel. Alright, Mathis, you've got to get to work. I think there's buckets of bodies for you to cook through. Alright, so I'm going to temporarily suspend the shells so that we can work on other things. Yo, Mathis. Why am I building roofs here? Oh, I know why. Because we temporarily... Okay, that kind of makes sense. Because of the wall raise, it made, like, temporarily indoor zones. Alright, so Mathis, instead of whatever you're currently working on, I have you as #1 craft. Why aren't you cremating? Or is that a haul? That might be a hauling. Alright, we really want to get rid of these corpses because they're disturbing to many, and that will really affect mood. Now, if mood gets particularly low, what I would be able to do is... I would be able to use the pulsar that I have, wherever it is. And pulse our mood back up. Alright, so the bionic eye is done. Bubbaloo, that means you and your left eye are getting replaced. So let's get you in the hospital. And Mr. Mathis. No, not you, Faustopia. Mr. Mathis is going to do the operation. Ooh, masterwork thermal pants. No, alright. Faustopia, no more doctoring. You're done. You're done. A delicate operation like an eye replacement surgery requires the best doc. Alright, Evernath, it's time for you to snap out of it. So everybody's fully healed now. All the equipment is repaired and put back. I never got to trade with Combat Supplier because I took too much time. That's on me. And that and Bubbaloo was under the knife. Oh well. Alright, Mr. Mathis. I am going to pull you off of the surgery. So Bubbaloo has been made right. And now I'm going to get the last door open. Or built, I should say. The last 2 tech prints are being applied by Chris so that Chris's intellect skill raises back up, making him better at searching for stuff. Alright, research. Let's get these last poison synthesis and then neural computation done. Now, Bubbaloo is no longer incapable of working and moving and all that. So, the adorable red fox shuttle arrives in 9 more days. We've kept him alive and the blood rots at a minimum, so feel like I've done a pretty good job there. We've kept every single person alive, and other than the 10 guests that accidentally and unfortunately perished, which was, in a way, sort of unavoidable, given the gravity of this situation, we did pretty well. Let me repair some of these delicate and damaged walls. I've got to say, the fall traps, although a lot less effective against bears, still did a pretty good job of neck and eye and head cuts for these bears. Yeah, pretty productive, I'd have to say. All right, animals. You all can go back to hauling, helping me sort out these corpses. They should be able to haul the... Oh, what is this? Dead bodies? Yes. They should be able to help haul the dead bodies into... for cremation. And Erbenath is... Okay, you're gonna snap out of it in a second. And then another thing that's going to be important is to get our shells back up for the IED traps. What I might do is make this a little bit more simple. And don't worry about the fire, which I think is unnecessary. Just focus on the fall itself, meaning that it's just regular ID traps, so that we don't have to worry about incendiary IEDs any longer. Alright, so some of the pillars are getting reconstructed. A lot of the dead bodies are going to be out of the way. And then once all the dead bodies are cremated, I will try to gift 10 urns slash statues to the nearest ally. Mathis, that was a lot of work. You still in a good mood? Somehow you are. Yeah, there's a lot more corpses, of course. But luckily, my pets are really doing a number helping out. Haul all these to the crematorium. Alright, let's let you go. Talon, you are in a very bad mood observing all those corpses and the like. I apologize about that, but there's really can't be helped. Yanshmei, it looks like we have a bit of a lack of wood for our deadfalls, so I'm going to put you on that once you're up. This is a big team effort. Alright, Jumper is able to walk out under his own power. And Talia's still an ally, believe it or not. Jumper leaving will increase our relationship a little bit, but I obviously owe a considerable amount of reparations to Antalya for their sacrifice, because they were definitely took the brunt of the bears, I'll put it that way. And here is the last raid. They are approaching from multiple angles, clever with their tactics. Okay, so there's 43 from the southwest, 52 from the northeast. I'm going to put everyone on grazing. But because they're just clever with their tactics, it does mean that they're actually coming in face first into my defenses, which allows me to potentially use a doomsday launcher. I know. So I think what I'm going to do is, Chris, you are going to ditch your minigun temporarily for a doomsday launcher. Also, on these, oh man, I really did not limit what was included here. Did I ever? No. So these really should not include Zeus, Plasma Mono, and then... Sorry, this is kind of the wrong time to do this, I suppose. But, yeah, I'll do this later. I'll fix this later. Okay, let's go ahead. Talon, I'm going to leave you asleep, even though it would be really, really, really nice to have an extra brawler right now, because you're in such a bad mood that you're likely just to flip out during the fight. Most of these are rearmed. Pretty much all of them are fully repaired, so I don't need to worry about that so much. What I'm going to do, because I value my own people more than my allies, I'm going to put these allies in a position where they might be endangered. Evernath, what I want you to do, just to throw the enemies here into chaos, is hit the Psychic Pulsar, so that any wild animals around the map go crazy and try to bite our incoming enemies. Alright, let's line up my own defenders. Oh, good. You guys are setting fire to stuff. Alright, now, slugs. Now, these slugs have a... Actually, I'm going to leave the slugs off. They have a very real possibility to do friendly fire damage, which I want to avoid. I don't want to shoot my own. And I don't think 2 slugs are going to make a significant difference for an attack which numbers in the 100 or so. Helen, you're up. Eat a fine meal and come join us. Alright, Evernath, how close? You're pretty close to hitting that pulsar. So the pulsar will drive all the animals that are conscious on the map tile crazy, helping to reduce the physical load of defenses that we'll have. As far as power goes, it's plugged in. Blue is going out, invisibilizing himself. because there's a nice big cluster of bowmen that I might be able to drive insane and have them all fight one another. There we are. So yes, the frontliners are taking considerably more damage than my own people that are out back and are considerably safer. Looks like, Chris, you may not need that after all. So let's switch out. And the first wave is fleeing. Yes, I have a ton of the my own troops that aren't doing so hot. Now the psychic pulsar has worked. It has driven all of these gazelle and boomalopes and whatnot crazy, driving the rest of the raid party to be scattered, and they're obviously far less effective as a result. So that worked. I'm dismissing some of the most wounded. Colonist needs rescue. Player does. Alright. Yeah, as you can see, they're really having a hard time. Oh, jeez, that's not good. Unfortunately for me, Evernath was not restricted to home and has gotten herself targeted by the animals. Bubbalo's going to go for maybe the rescue. We will try. Unfortunately, our Antalya friend ended up Jumper where he is. Ah, there he is. Ends up downed again. So I'll also try to rescue him as well. Evernath, just take a fall. Just collapse. It would be good for you. Alright, Evernath is collapsed. Bubbalo is not going to go for the rescue until Evernath is, until the animals are not camping her. Alright, the enemies seem to be hugging the west side, so I'm going to do the same. They did manage to set a fire because there was a great bow that caught. That tower will likely be cut. I can't imagine there's too many of these raid party left. No. They should be, yep, they're fleeing. Okay. Let's immediately get our own turrets off. Sending everybody scheduling to be inside safely. I think I will send a contingency here to deal with some of these critters. Alright, so I've rescued Evernath. So let's forget about that. Shoot Frenzy, okay. The next thing I want to try to do is get Jumper. And that would be all 3 raids, unless my math is incorrect. But I am over time already. So I'm going to wrap this up. I didn't want to leave on a cliffhanger, but there you go. 3 travel raids, I think handled pretty well. Pretty well. I mean, we have no deaths, so I got to count that as a success. Honestly, just got to count it. If you have any tips, tricks, feedback for me, do drop me a line in the comments below. If you'd like to support the channel, patreon.com/Radama is the place to go. If you want to discuss this stuff, just hop over to Discord. You can find the link at radamont.com. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll catch you all next episode. Adios, friends.